Hi, I'm Dr. Sarah Collins, and today I want to speak directly to anyone over 40 or 50 who has been struggling with stubborn belly fat, low energy, or bloating that just won't go away no matter what you try. If you've been wondering why diets fail, why exercise sometimes feels useless, or why your body doesn't respond like it used to, this video is for you. I need you to listen closely, because what I'm about to share isn't about starving yourself, following trendy fads, or spending endless hours at the gym. It's about something far more important that almost nobody talks about, especially when we get older: your liver, and how it controls fat metabolism and overall energy. Within just 2 weeks of applying this precise approach, I lost 15 pounds. And the transformation wasn't just about weight. My bloating disappeared, my energy soared, and my body started functioning in a way I hadn't experienced in years. And the best part is that it happened naturally, without forcing it, without obsessing over calories, because I stopped fighting my body and started helping the organ that actually regulates fat and energy: the liver. Many people over 40 don't realize how much the liver impacts every aspect of metabolism. When it's stressed, overloaded, or inflamed, the pathways that burn fat and regulate hormones become blocked, leaving your body stuck in a cycle of inflammation, fluid retention, and stubborn fat accumulation, especially around the belly. But the moment you start supporting your liver, that congestion clears, metabolism revs up, and fat starts to leave the body almost on its own. Today, I'm going to walk you step by step through exactly what I did, including the morning rituals, dietary strategies, and simple yet powerful drinks that made the difference. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your body hasn't been cooperating and how you can reset it naturally, without punishment or deprivation, in a way that's safe and highly effective for anyone in their 40s, 50s, or beyond. Let's begin with the single most important rule that changed everything for me. The liver follows a circadian rhythm that's critical for repair and regeneration. After sunset, it should shift focus from processing food to restoring cells, detoxifying, and clearing inflammation. But most people unknowingly sabotage this window by consuming sugar, refined carbs, alcohol, and snacks late in the evening. For 2 weeks, I became extremely disciplined. I stopped eating anything sweet, eliminated desserts, bread, fruit, which, while healthy during the day, contains fructose the liver has to process at night, avoided alcohol completely, and cut out late-night snacking. The results were immediate. Within 48 hours, my bloating decreased, my face looked less puffy, my rings fit more comfortably, and my stomach felt lighter. I wasn't losing fat yet. What was leaving was the water and inflammation my liver had been battling while I slept. This first rule alone gave me a clear understanding of how crucial timing is for liver health, especially for those of us over 50 who tend to retain more water and experience higher inflammation. Once the body stops fighting itself, even small changes begin to create noticeable improvements. After this, I focused on another vital signal my liver was asking for: bitterness. Most modern diets completely lack bitter flavors, yet they're essential. Bitter foods trigger bile production in the liver and gallbladder, which is critical for breaking down fats and preventing them from being stored. Without this signal, fat digestion is inefficient, and the body stores more instead of burning it. To address this, I developed a simple morning ritual that became non-negotiable. I drank a bitter liver reset tonic immediately upon waking. It included a cup of room-temperature water, a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice for vitamin C and citric acid, and half a teaspoon of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar. Taken on an empty stomach, this combination awakened my liver, reduced morning bloat, and helped me digest fats throughout the day without discomfort. Within days, I noticed a gentle alertness in my upper right abdomen where the liver sits, and a reduction in digestive sluggishness that I hadn't felt in years. After establishing these morning and evening habits, I turned my attention to protein timing. Protein is essential for liver repair because the organ rebuilds its own cells using amino acids. However, consuming large protein meals combined with heavy carbs at dinner forces the liver to process sugar instead of repairing. By adjusting my dinner to focus on a palm-sized portion of clean protein, like wild-caught fish, pastured eggs, or organic chicken, paired with non-starchy vegetables such as broccoli, zucchini, asparagus, or cabbage. I allowed my liver to repair instead of store fat. Eliminating potatoes, rice, and pasta at night was critical. Simple meals like baked salmon with roasted broccoli or an omelet with sautéed spinach and mushrooms became the foundation of my evening routine. This approach not only facilitated liver repair, but directly supported fat mobilization overnight. Finally, I addressed liquid sugar, the silent metabolic saboteur. Sweetened drinks, juices, and smoothies may seem harmless, but they flood the liver with fructose and push it toward fat production. For 2 weeks, I eliminated all liquid sugar, relying solely on water, herbal teas, or the morning bitter tonic. The effect was profound. My liver was no longer overworked. My inflammatory markers began to drop, and my energy stabilized. By combining disciplined nighttime habits, bitter morning tonics, strategic protein intake, and zero liquid sugar, I started to experience a transformation that felt effortless, yet remarkably powerful. The body I thought was stuck suddenly began moving again. My clothes fit better, my face looked lighter, and my energy levels soared. Over the next several days, the transformation intensified, proving that when the liver is properly supported, the rest of the body follows. By day 4, the initial deflation of bloating and inflammation was clear. By day 10, my waistline had visibly shrunk, sugar cravings disappeared, and energy was consistent throughout the day. By the end of 2 weeks, the scale moved steadily, reflecting the fat my body finally had the capacity to burn efficiently. This was no temporary result or fad trick. The reset allowed my liver to control metabolism as it was designed to, regulating hormones like insulin and cortisol, reducing fat storage, and allowing my body to naturally find its healthy weight. Most people over 40 spend years fighting their bodies with restrictive diets and excessive exercise, unaware that their liver is the real barrier. You cannot out-exercise or out-starve a dysfunctional liver. True long-term success comes when you stop damaging it and start repairing it. By applying these simple but powerful rules consistently, no sugar after 6 p.m., bitter morning tonic, protein-based dinner, zero liquid sugar, and sleeping before midnight, you can create a metabolic environment that naturally supports fat loss, energy, and overall health, especially for anyone navigating midlife and beyond. And that's just the first part of the transformation. Over the next few minutes, I'll continue to show you exactly what happens day by day, how to maintain the results, and the subtle tweaks that make this method so effective for seniors like you who want lasting, natural changes without deprivation or extreme exercise. By the time I reached day 5, the transformation started to feel undeniable. The initial water retention and inflammation had already eased, and my body felt lighter, more responsive, almost as if a fog had lifted. My clothes fit better, my energy was more consistent, and even my mood felt elevated. But the most fascinating part was how my cravings had changed. Those stubborn, late-night urges for sweets and refined carbs, things I thought I'd never control, simply faded. It wasn't about willpower anymore. My blood sugar stabilized, my liver wasn't overloaded, and my body began signaling satisfaction in ways I hadn't experienced for decades. Days 6 through 10 brought a visible shift in my waistline. My abdomen, which had felt permanently distended for years, began to soften and flatten. Every morning I could see and feel the change. I wasn't doing extra cardio or skipping meals. I was simply supporting my liver and respecting the timing of my body's natural repair cycles. One of the key elements that made this possible was the evening liver calm drink. About 30 to 60 minutes before bed, I would warm a cup of unsweetened almond milk, stir in half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, and add a pinch of black pepper. Turmeric, as you may know, is a potent anti-inflammatory, while the black pepper increases absorption dramatically. This simple drink helped lower nighttime inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, and even regulate cortisol, the stress hormone that often sabotages fat burning while we sleep. As someone in my 50s, I was amazed at how a small ritual could have such a big impact. By day 10, I noticed something even more remarkable. The scale started moving in a consistent way. 1 to 2 pounds every other day began disappearing. But the real difference wasn't just the numbers. It was the way my body had shifted from holding on to fat to efficiently mobilizing it for energy. My liver, no longer burdened by constant sugar and processed foods, could finally perform its natural functions, and my metabolism finally started working like it should. Throughout this period, I kept my dinners intentionally simple. A palm-sized portion of clean protein, wild-caught fish, organic chicken, or pastured eggs, paired with generous servings of non-starchy vegetables like zucchini, broccoli, asparagus, or cabbage, became the standard. I avoided potatoes, rice, pasta, and other starchy foods at night. Each meal wasn't just about nutrition. It was a signal to my liver that repair, not storage, was the priority. And it worked. Fat mobilization overnight became a natural process, something I no longer had to force with extreme diets or endless hours at the gym. Another element that played a crucial role was the elimination of liquid sugar. For years, I had thought juices, smoothies, or sweetened coffee drinks were harmless, even healthy in some cases. But the truth is, without fiber to slow absorption, fructose floods the liver directly, forcing it to convert sugar into fat. By cutting all liquid sugar completely, I significantly reduced the metabolic load on my liver. Water, herbal teas, and my morning bitter tonic became the only liquids I consumed. The results were profound. Inflammation decreased, energy stabilized, and even digestion felt lighter and more efficient. Around day 12, I noticed my energy levels during the day were more steady than they had been in years. I no longer experienced mid-morning or mid-afternoon crashes. Meals were digested without discomfort, and I could feel my body's natural fat-burning mechanisms kicking in. This was not a temporary trick or a fad. It was my liver finally able to manage metabolism, regulate hormones like insulin and cortisol, and allow my body to function as it was designed to. Perhaps the most important takeaway for anyone watching over 40 or 50 is that this method addresses the root cause of metabolic stagnation, rather than fighting the symptoms. Most people spend years trying to lose weight by sheer willpower, skipping meals, pushing through exhaustive exercise, and cutting calories, without ever considering that a stressed liver is the real barrier. You cannot out-exercise or out-diet a liver that is overloaded and inflamed. Long-term results only come when you stop damaging it and start repairing it. Over the 2 weeks, my body experienced not just fat loss, but a complete reset. My digestive system became more efficient, bloating decreased, water retention dropped, and even my skin looked healthier. The visible changes were motivating, but the internal changes were even more significant. Hormone regulation improved, energy metabolism normalized, and my appetite adjusted naturally. By the end of the second week, my body was in a state of metabolic efficiency I hadn't felt since my 30s. It was no longer about counting calories or punishing workouts. It was about creating an environment where my liver could function optimally. And the beauty of this method is that it's sustainable. Unlike extreme diets that leave you feeling deprived, this approach fits into real life, respects your biology, and works naturally with your circadian rhythms. Fat is mobilized overnight, inflammation decreases, energy stabilizes, and cravings vanish without struggle. For anyone in their 40s, 50s, or beyond, this is a game changer because it addresses the physiological changes that occur with age, like slower metabolism, increased inflammation, and hormonal shifts, by targeting the organ that controls all of these processes. The results I achieved over 14 days were not just weight loss. They were a full metabolic reset. Clothes fit better, mornings felt lighter, energy levels soared, and my body finally functioned the way it was meant to. And the best part? This wasn't about deprivation. It was about strategic eating, timing, and simple drinks that signal the liver to repair, regenerate, and mobilize fat naturally. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through exactly what I did on each day, how my body responded, and the subtle adjustments that made all the difference. This isn't theory, This is practical, step-by-step guidance for anyone over 40 who wants to feel lighter, healthier, and more energized. By understanding the signals your liver needs, and by giving it the tools and timing to function optimally, you create a foundation for long-term health and sustainable fat loss. No more yo-yo dieting, no more frustration, no more wasted years feeling stuck. If you follow these principles, your body will respond in ways you may have thought were impossible after 50. And this is just the beginning. Part 3 will dive deeper into maintaining these results, the subtle lifestyle tweaks that keep your liver healthy, and how to make this reset permanent, so the transformation you see isn't temporary, but lasts for years to come. By the time I reached the final days of my 2-week liver reset, the changes were undeniable, not just on the scale, but in the way my body felt, moved, and functioned. The bloating and inflammation that had held me back for years were gone, and my energy had stabilized throughout the day. But what really impressed me was how natural the transformation felt. My body wasn't under stress from deprivation or punishment. It was finally operating as it was designed to, and that made all the difference, especially for anyone over 50. One of the final strategies I focused on was sleep timing. Sleep isn't just rest. It's when the liver performs its peak repair and regeneration. Going to bed before midnight allows your body to enter a deep, restorative phase, reducing inflammation, improving insulin sensitivity, and supporting fat mobilization. Skipping or delaying this window disrupts the liver's cycles and can reverse all the progress you've worked so hard to achieve. For the past 2 weeks, I made sleep a priority. Lights out before midnight became non-negotiable, and the result was dramatic. Not only did my metabolism continue to function efficiently overnight, but my recovery, mood, and overall vitality improved noticeably. Another critical factor I implemented was a mindful approach to hydration and anti-inflammatory support. Water remained my primary hydration source, while herbal teas and my morning bitter tonic continued to support liver function. In the evening, my turmeric and black pepper almond milk drink helped calm low-grade liver inflammation, regulate cortisol, and prepare my body for restorative sleep. These small, consistent rituals compounded over the 2 weeks, producing results that were both visible and internal. By the final days, my waistline had shrunk significantly, my clothes fit comfortably again, and my overall energy and mental clarity were better than I had experienced in years. The cravings for sugar and refined carbs, which had haunted me for decades, were gone. I wasn't resisting them. My body no longer demanded them because my liver and metabolism were in balance. This is what makes the liver reset approach different from every diet or exercise program I've ever tried. It's not about fighting your body. It's about understanding the signals your liver needs and responding in a way that allows natural repair, regeneration, and fat mobilization. For anyone over 40 or 50, this is life-changing. Hormonal changes, slower metabolism, increased inflammation, and fat retention are normal with age, but they don't have to define your body. Supporting the liver allows you to work with your biology rather than against it. After the 2-week reset, I developed a sustainable routine to maintain these results. I continued to avoid late-night sugar, kept my mornings liver-focused with a bitter tonic, prioritized simple protein-based dinners, and eliminated liquid sugar. Sleep remained a cornerstone, ensuring the liver could repair efficiently every night. The results stabilized and became long-lasting. My body had entered a new rhythm where energy, digestion, and metabolism worked in harmony. I no longer experienced the constant bloating, fatigue, or sugar cravings that had been part of my life for decades. Instead, I felt empowered because my body was finally cooperating with me. This approach isn't a quick fix. It's an upgrade to your metabolic system, especially critical for those in midlife and beyond. By addressing the root cause, liver congestion and inflammation, you unlock fat-burning potential, hormonal balance, and consistent energy levels that no diet or gym routine alone can achieve. If you've been struggling for years with stubborn belly fat, low energy, or bloating, I want you to know this. The solution doesn't start with the treadmill or counting calories. It begins with stopping the damage to your liver and starting the repair. Simple, strategic habits, like avoiding late-night sugar, triggering bile with bitter foods and drinks, timing protein properly, eliminating liquid sugar, and honoring sleep, create a foundation for lasting health and weight management. Over time, these habits compound, and your body naturally finds its healthy weight. No deprivation, no extreme routines, just smart, biology-based strategies that respect how your body works, especially as we age. By the end of this journey, I wasn't just lighter or slimmer. I was more energetic, clear-headed, and confident in my ability to maintain these results for life. And that's what makes this approach sustainable and empowering. It's not about short-term fixes. It's about giving your liver what it needs to control metabolism, manage hormones, and allow your body to function optimally. This isn't theory. It's practical, proven, and achievable for anyone over 40 or 50. If you follow these steps consistently, your body will reward you with natural, lasting transformation. Your bloating will decrease, your waistline will shrink, your energy will stabilize, and cravings will subside. Fat mobilization becomes effortless, and you regain the vitality and confidence you thought had slipped away with age. I encourage you to commit to these principles, not just for 2 weeks, but as a lifestyle shift that respects your biology. Your liver is your body's metabolic engine, and when it functions properly, everything else falls into place. You don't need to punish yourself with starvation, fad diets, or hours of strenuous exercise. You need to reset, repair, and support the organ that controls fat, energy, and hormone balance. As you implement these strategies, morning bitter tonic, protein-focused dinners, elimination of late-night and liquid sugar, and early sleep, you'll begin to experience results quickly, and they will last because your body has fundamentally changed. This is why so many people over 40 and 50 struggle. They focus on symptoms instead of causes. But by prioritizing liver health, you address the root, and your body starts to respond naturally. In conclusion, this method has given me back control over my health, my energy, and my body's natural fat-burning abilities. It's practical, sustainable, and designed specifically with midlife metabolism in mind. If you're ready for a transformation that respects your body, supports your liver, and allows your metabolism to function as it was meant to, this is the approach that works. Take the steps consistently, honor your biology, and watch as your body finally begins to cooperate in ways you may have thought were impossible after 40 or 50. Remember, true lasting fat loss and vitality doesn't start with the treadmill. It starts the moment your liver stops fighting you and begins working for you. This isn't just a short-term solution. It's a metabolic upgrade that lasts a lifetime, giving you control, energy, and confidence to thrive at any age.